Faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. It wasn't pretty. That was not a pretty victory for the 49ers tonight in Cincinnati against a playoff bound opponent. Hell, the Cincinnati Bengals have an opportunity to win, their division with the Ravens losing today, and I think they're without Lamar Jackson. But, the 49ers went into enemy territory, had to fly all the way down to the Midwest in Ohio, and the 49ers got a win. It was not a pretty victory, but a win is a win. And at this point in the season, it don't really matter how you win as long as you get that W. Our goal is to get to the playoffs. And with this win, we're that much closer to getting to the playoffs. And obviously, some of my takeaways, neither offensive line can protect their quarterback, right? I mean, Jimmy was getting pressured. Burrow was getting pressured. Shout out to our defensive line. They did a hell of a job in getting pressure. I thought that was one of the main factors in this victory. And we had to get pressure on Burrow. Ambry Thomas, he's a rookie. He got burnt. I wasn't really expecting much else. He's a rookie. First time playing in the NFL. This is his first year. And this is his first start as well. So I was glad to see Ambry Thomas out there. And he's going to take his lumps. Obviously, Nick Bosa, hell of a game. The entire defensive line played pretty well. George Kittle, of course, fantastic. He had another great game. We definitely saw what Debo does to this offense. It was great to see Debo, back in there. Even though, in the pregame show, I did not want him to play Debo Samuel. I know I did not want Debo to play because I didn't want him to further injure his groin. But Debo, to me, didn't look hobbled. They didn't use him 100%. Of course not, but they used just a skosh of Debo Samuel, and it made a difference. The offense was stagnant in the second half. I know the offense was stagnant in the second half. That's the only reason the Bengals were still in this game. And let's face it, the Bengals were trying to give us the game. They had so many fumbles. The Bengals were definitely giving us the game. But what did you guys think about this victory against the Cincinnati Bengals in overtime? Let me know in them comments. Shout out to everyone watching Jay in the Bay Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Let's see what's up. Let's say what's up to the people in them comments. Let's see who we got in here tonight on this Victory Sunday night. Mr. Flood, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. There's nothing better than a Victory Sunday, that's for sure. We got the W. We're now, 7-6. And this W was against a division opponent. The Cincinnati Bengals are a talented team. And this defense played lights out. This game really should have been closer. If we would have been able to have 2 or 3 sustained drives in the second half, this game wouldn't have even been close. But Cincinnati is a talented team. They can definitely still get after the quarterback. Unfortunately, Hendrickson, their best edge rusher, got hurt. He had a back injury. Hopefully that injury, doesn't prevent him from playing the rest of the season. But they were still able to get after the quarterback. And we know the right side of our offensive line is the weak point. We know that Faithful. We know Compton and Brunskill, they're going to get run over a few snaps in the game. And that's what we saw tonight. So I didn't expect anything else. That's just who they are. That's what they've shown so far this season. John, what's good? John says game definitely wasn't perfect, but great win. Yeah, man. I mean, it wasn't perfect. Jimmy was Jimmy, He was okay. Jimmy, he did not throw any interceptions. He did have one pass that could have been intercepted. But, on the stat sheet, he's got a goose egg by that INT. Jimmy had two drives, one at the end of the fourth quarter. Basically, that's the drive that Robbie Bronze missed the field goal. Also, he had a drive in overtime. But the defense, you can't really play much better. I mean, you got Ambry Thomas, a rookie. You got Josh Norman on the other side. This defense played as good as it could, and they basically kept us in the game with so many 3 and outs, interceptions, fumble recoveries, and things like that. But as John said, the game definitely wasn't perfect, but it's a great win, man. Ain't nothing better than a victory Sunday. David, what's good? You know it, man. 24/7, 365. It's Niners all day. Glad we got this win. You know, obviously there's something we can improve on every week in the season or every game, but you got to celebrate the victories because it's not easy going on the road to play a playoff team. The Bengals will be in the playoffs this year. I think the 49ers defense just did a great job getting pressure up front, making Burrow feel pressured in the pocket. The Bengals couldn't really run the ball. The 49ers, we couldn't really run the ball either. You know, Jeff Wilson Jr., he had about a handful of like 6, 7, 8-yard runs that really helped the running game. And I think Wilson had under 15 carries. It didn't seem like Shanahan wanted to run him that much. Hasty didn't get any carries, I don't believe, but you know, Jimmy threw the ball a lot, more than 30 times. And that's something I said in the pregame. I thought the Niners would pass the ball to start off with and then run the ball. That's what I thought they would do because the Bengals' strength is their run defense, and we're without our best running back. So to me, it made sense. Hey, why not rely a little bit more on Jimmy? And, you know, Jimmy did a good job. You know, Jimmy did a good enough job. No, he's not spectacular. No, he's never going to throw for 400 yards, 5 passing touchdowns. That's just saying Jimmy. That's not Jimmy. But I know Jimmy, he can make the throws, and he played a good enough game. And like David said, it was ugly, but a win is a win. Hey, a win is a win, man. Blue True, hot diggity dog. Shout out to Blue True. Blue True with that $10 donation to the channel. Blue True says, what a nail biter. Yikes. Here's a 10 for the win. Congrats, Niner Empire. Appreciate that, Blue True. Yeah, it was a nail biter. Once again, it's unfortunate, though, that for the second week in a row, this 49ers offense in the second half has become stagnant. For whatever reason, the 49ers offense in the second half, we were only able to muster up 3 points. And it really puts a lot more pressure on the defense in order for them to do their job. But yeah, this offense has to be better in the second half of games. Unfortunately, we've seen it 2 weeks in a row. Last week against Seattle, we didn't score any points. Today we scored 3, but that's not going to get it done, especially not in the playoffs. Whatever it is, I don't know if it was the lack of, you know, Elijah Mitchell not being there. I would have to really look at the possessions because I know there are a lot of punts. I know there are some penalties on our side of the ball. So, but like they say, win is a win. Let's see. NYCE, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, NYCE. He says, what's good, Jay? Those are the games that show heart and not giving up. Keep in mind, we should have never went into overtime if we didn't miss the field goal. That's a great point. You know, Robbie Bronze, you know, he missed that field goal. And I can't disrespect a man like that. I can't call him Robbie Bronze. But I feel like calling him Robbie Bronze. But if you look at his stats, I looked up his stats. Me and the executive producer of the show, she was saying, why does he always miss? And I'm like, he doesn't always miss. It's just when he makes the field goals, you don't really think twice about it because that's what he's supposed to do. But his misses this season so far, he's made out of 14 field goals, Robbie Gould has made 11. So, I mean, that's pretty good, right? But it's unfortunate that the ones he missed, we remember more than the ones he makes. I think that's what it comes down to. Unfortunately, Robbie Gould did miss that field goal. Like NYC said, it shouldn't have gone into overtime. It shouldn't even really been that close. The Bengals were just giving us the ball, man. They had so many turnovers today. The 49ers didn't really capitalize on it. You know, I thought we should have scored more touchdowns, especially when we had opportunities. But you know, but we had some guys play at their best. Kittle, the show with the presence of mind to put his hand with the ball over the pylon to score that touchdown in overtime to win the game. I mean, what more could you ask for, man? I mean, we had our playmakers stepped up when they needed to, and that's all you could really ask for. Sean Tuber, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. I know you are happy. Nothing like a victory Sunday. Sean says, "Hey Jay, what's good?" I'll say a win. Hey, I agree, man. A win is a win. We can always nitpick, but we got to celebrate the victories when we have them. And we got them good old ATL Falcons next week. I'm looking forward to that game. Payo time, what's good? Payo time, cool dude, LA Rams YouTuber. He says, congratulations on the W, faithful. Niners fans needed a defibrillator today. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, they kept it interesting all the way to the end. And it was definitely an interesting game to watch, but we definitely should have executed much better on offense in the second half. It shouldn't even have been that close. Payout Time says, I'll probably need to have it tomorrow. Yeah, that's going to be a hell of a matchup on Monday Night Football prime time. Them good old Arizona Cardinals against the LA Rams. I wonder where they're going to be playing that game. Is that going to be, I think that might be in Arizona tomorrow. So that's going to be a hell of a game. I think Kyler Murray's coming back. D-Hop should be back. So that's going to be a great divisional matchup. I'm rooting for the Rams to win that game. Let's see. KD, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, KD. He says, hello, Jay in the Bay. How many sacks did Nick Bosa have? I think he had, probably 1.5 sacks, most likely. But Nick Bosa, he was all around Joe Burrow, making him feel uncomfortable. Yeah, and both quarterbacks were sacked 5 times apiece. And as I mentioned earlier in the show, neither offensive line could protect the quarterback on numerous third downs. And that's definitely where the 49ers struggled today. And I mean, I guess all season overall is just third down efficiency. We struggled in that area. As we look, I'm gonna pull this up for you guys and gals. On third down, this is where we struggle at 5 of 15 on third down. I don't think that's good enough. I don't think that's going to get it done. But, hey, it did get it done because the Bengals were worse. The Bengals were 4 of 13. So they didn't fare that much better either on third down. But credit to these two defenses. These two defenses came to play, and it was on full display in the game. Both defensive lines got after the quarterback. Neither team could really run the ball as much as they wanted to, and the turnovers really hurt the Bengals. I mean, they were just giving us the ball. If you look at, let's see, the Bengals, they only had 2 turnovers, but it seemed a lot more. And what do you know? When you win the turnover battle, like the Niners did today, you give yourself more of a chance to win the game, and that's what happened. We look at penalties. We actually had more penalties than the Bengals. Bengals only had 2. We had 6. But the Bengals, one of the Bengals' costly penalties was when I think it was their safety Bell, and he taunted at one of our offensive linemen, and he got a penalty, and I think that extended the drive. So the Bengals, they played disciplined football in the penalty aspect, but that one penalty definitely hurt them. Because I think we got a field goal on that drive, I think, or that might have been a touchdown. I don't remember, but it definitely hurt the Bengals. That's for sure. J.R. Meadows, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, J.R. He says all must call the score. You called the score 26-20? Honestly, I don't even remember, J.R., but man, you said that the Niners would win, and that's exactly what came to fruition. And I'm just glad that we got this victory. And we are on to play them good old ATL Falcons next Sunday. David Renteria, what's up, DR? What you got to say now, DR? What you got to say, DR? Can't wait for you guys' Monday night matchup against the Rams tomorrow. J.R. Meadows. Yeah, I mean, Robbie, he should have made the field goal. There's no excuse, right? It's only a 47-yarder. It wasn't like a 60-yarder or something. But, I mean, what can you say? We won the game. Is Robbie Gould going to get cut tomorrow? No, he's still going to be on the team. And he's been accurate for majority of the year. He's only missed 3. I guess that's 3 too many, right? But, I mean, yeah, of course I want him to make the field goal, but it kind of is what it is, man. He should have made it, but he missed it. Fortunately, it didn't come back to bite us. But in reality, the game shouldn't have came down to a winning field goal. If we would have took care of our business as an offense in the second half, it wouldn't even have to come down to that. Wouldn't have to come down to that at all. And if we look up what the 49ers did in the second half, it wasn't good enough. Only scored 3 points in the second half. That's just not good enough. Definitely not good enough. Let's look at the 49ers. Let's look at their plays. What happened in the second half of the game? So we look at the third quarter. Robbie Gould had that field goal. It was 12 plays, 69 yards, and we didn't do anything else. We didn't have any other scoring drives in the second half, and that's just not going to get it done. Faithful, not going to get it done. Okay, here we go. So the 49ers, we had the field goal. Then the next drive we had a punt. The next drive after that, a punt. So basically we had 3 consecutive punts after that field goal. And against the best teams, that's not going to get it done. But fortunately, we were still able to win the game. David says Nick Bosa had 2 sacks today. Defense had 5 total sacks. Kittle went beast with 151 yards, 1 touchdown, and some big catches. Absolutely, man. What can you say about Kittle, man? We should be seeing this more from Kittle. We just got to continue to make him a priority in this offense. Yeah, he's a great blocker, but he needs to be used as a receiver. I don't care if Debo's healthy or not. We need to continue to use him as a receiver, man. And as David just illustrated, 151 yards, 151 yards, 13 catches, 1 touchdown, 15 targets. Brandon Ayuk had a solid game, 6 catches, 62 yards. Jennings brought in 3. And we can't forget, Debo had 1 catch. We can't forget about that great catch by Kittle, and it was in the overtime period, and I think it was on the 3rd down. Kittle made leapy catch, great catch. Jimmy made a good throw. He threw it where only Kittle could get it, and you just gotta respect it and appreciate the athlete that George Kittle is, man. I feel one of the best tight ends. He's just not utilized like a Kelsey or a Waller. Jeff Wilson Jr. pitched in 13 carries, 56 yards. He had a long run of 12 yards. Debo added in 8 carries. So, and if you look at the Bengals rushing game, they really couldn't do anything. Mixon had a pedestrian 18 carries, 58 yards. He's better than that, but the 49ers run defense has greatly improved since the beginning of the year. Make no mistake about it. NYCE, when does Jimmy get any credit? To the Jimmy G haters, they're going to say, well, Jimmy, he put us in that situation in the second half. He didn't ball out in the second half. So that's why, the game went into overtime. NYCE says Jimmy played to what they gave him. The second half, Bengals controlled the possessions most of the time. I also think Kyle takes his foot off the gas. I would say Kyle does take his foot off the gas, but also Jimmy G was getting pressured all day in the second half, especially on 3rd downs. The Bengals were blitzing, and also Compton and Brunskill were just getting run over. Jimmy had no time to throw. So I don't know what people are expecting from Jimmy. I would have suggested, hey, maybe throw some screen passes, some reverses. I don't know, something to negate this pass rush, because even without Hendrickson being in the game due to his injury I think that was at the end of the first half, they were still able to get home. The Bengals pass rush was still consistent. They were still getting towards Jimmy. And like you say, Jimmy did take what the defense gave him. And I'm giving credit to Jimmy. I know other people won't, but I give Jimmy praise when he does well, and I hold him to a standard when he doesn't. And today, Jimmy did just enough to get this victory. Pale Time says, okay, the Cardinals game is in Arizona. Let's see. David says, rooting for the Rams. Why y'all ain't winning the division? Well, the Cardinals beat us twice. So, hey, I'm rooting for the Rams to beat the Cardinals, man. That's why. NYCE says 2.5 sacks for Bosa, I believe. Man, he was a disruptive force, whether he was lined up on the left or the right. It's good to see that D'Amico Ryans is moving him around the defensive line to get different looks. Tommy Huxley, what's good? That's what you said, TH. Yeah, you said that the Niners was going to lose today. That's pretty good, Tommy. Let's see. Tommy says Bosa 2.5, Chandler Jones will have 0. Okay. NYCE says, what I saw on the third down, we would pick up a first. Then the offense would get a penalty, costing us to go into third. And very long penalties are our Achilles heel. I agree with that. And I think we had 6 penalties today that cost about 60 yards. I know Trent Williams had a holding call. And I know there were other penalties on offense. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. I can't remember the other penalties, but I know for sure I remember that one by Trent Williams because that negated a first down in the red zone, and we had to have a long third down, and eventually that resulted into a field goal. But winning on first and second down will, increase the chances of you winning on third down. Like if you get 4 yards of pop on first and second, then that means you only have a 3rd and 2. You can pass or run. But yeah, we got to get better on third downs for sure. 5 of 15 is not good enough. But credit to the Bengals. They did a pretty good job defensively. And they were able to get pressure on Jimmy and make his throws even more difficult. Hey Zeus, what's good? Jesus says, saludos. I'm surprised the Bengals didn't target more of DB Thomas. That's an astute observation. In the beginning of the game, they didn't really target Thomas. I would agree. I was surprised by that as well. But towards the third and fourth quarter, they started to target Thomas. And, he showed what he can do. He's a rookie. I'm glad to see that he was out there. I didn't see Lenore really in the first half. I think Lenore started coming into the game toward the fourth quarter. But it was good to see Ambry out there. He needs to take his licks now. He needs to experience, defensive snaps at the NFL level. Hopefully everything's okay with Dante Johnson. But hey, I wouldn't be mad if Ambry continues starting. I would say Josh Norman. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. But we know what Kyle Shanahan's going to do. We already know what Shanny going to do. We know it. DR, we got a hater in the house. DR says the 49ers got lucky. Hey, all I know is 7-6. That's all I know, man. That's all I know. Luck goes on either side. The game shouldn't have been that close, DR. You know it. I know you was front and center. I know you watched the game. DR says Chandler Jones is better than Bosa, please. Tommy Huxley says, how many sacks does he have? Not 14. NYCE says, hey, Jay, this morning I did say Jimmy would have 275 yards with 3 touchdowns, and special teams had to step up and make plays, and Jennings made some big plays. You want me to mention anything else to Kyle? LOL. Yeah, man. Yeah, you called it out. You definitely called it out. The special teams did play much better. We didn't have really any mistakes. We recovered 2 fumbles, and we should have scored 2 touchdowns there, but sometimes that happens. But you talked about Jimmy G. Jimmy G had 296 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I know he had a pass that was dropped that could have been intercepted, but hey, that happens in a game. Burrow also, he threw a pass that should have been intercepted early on in the first half, but 41 passes, that is a lot of passes. I know Shanahan would love to run the ball more often, but Jimmy did what he had to do. And this was he wasn't great. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't trash, but he played just good enough to allow us to get this victory. He was he made good throws to Kittle, Ayuk, Jennings, and he allowed his receiver to get the ball. And I'm giving him his credit. It's definitely well deserved. And let's continue on with these comments. Let's see. David says Nick Bosa has 14 sacks on the season. Yeah, he is balling out. I appreciate everyone in the live stream. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. I would appreciate it. And if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to Jay and the Bay. Let's see. Punch you in the eye. What's good? He says this clown really in a 49er chat, not even his own team. Kid so weird these days. I welcome all fans in the NFL. It doesn't matter who you root for, especially if you're a fan of the NFC West. You can definitely come into the chat. I don't mind at all. Man. Jesus says Juwan Jennings making a name for himself. Use him more. Absolutely. I like Juwan Jennings. I think he's a solid receiver. He's a big body. He made some good catches tonight, and I think he will continue to be the third receiver outside of Ayuk, Debo, and I think Jennings will continue to be a third receiver. That's for sure. Watkins Sports. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. How is your Sunday night going, man? Tommy says the Cards are going to lose to the Lambs. That would be funny. Looking forward to that game. Lennon Wolf, we got another AZ Cardinals fan in the house. What's good? Y'all feeling confident about your game against some good old Rams tomorrow? Lennon Wolf says the Cardinals and the Suns are championship city. Oh, really? Is that right? The Cardinals, they haven't won a Super Bowl, right? And the Suns, I don't think they won a NBA championship either. So, but you guys are playing well. I'm giving you your kudos. You're playing well, but I don't know if we can call y'all championship city just yet. NYC says, Jay, you and me are on the same page. I didn't see any screenplay so now I will correct you there. I was actually surprised. We did not see any screenplays, but Shanahan used play action a lot. Jimmy was doing play action a lot. He would do the play action fake. There either Kittle will be running across the middle or the Ayuk show will be running across the middle. So we did use play action a lot. If I had to guess, it was at least 10 times where I saw Jimmy use play action. And that I think that allowed the offensive line to block much better. The linebackers would go to the line of scrimmage because they're thinking it's a run. Jimmy cocks that ball back. Jimmy, he's looking to the right. He's looking to the left. And he's looking for his receivers. And he's finding Kittle. He's finding Ayuk. So I think, the 49ers offense did a great job at play action today. But I think we should add some screen plays to help offset, a pass rush. Maybe we can do that next game. NYCE also says, did you see that play where Brunskill got thrown back into Jimmy? Which one, man? We know, man. We know NYCE. The right side of this offensive line, it's not even average. Like they'll play solid at times, but they are getting, I'm not gonna say manhandled, but on certain plays, they are getting bum rush. Brunskill and Compton, they're not able to hold their blocks. Obviously, this is that right side of the offensive line. Right guard, right tackle will be a position of need in the offseason. I don't know how you guys feel about McGlinchey. I don't even want to go down McGlinchey. I'd rather have Jalen Moore start, but we still would need a backup just in case Moore got hurt. So whether that be drafting another right tackle or, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if this team says, hey, McGlinchey, you want to take a 1-year contract? Jalen Moore can learn behind you. I wouldn't be surprised by that, especially if you can get him at, a discount since he missed all this year. But, we'll see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if this Niners team, decide to bring back McGlinchey at right tackle. And he's not I don't know if he's necessarily any better than Tom Compton. I don't know. But we'll see though. I definitely think we need to use more screen games though. That's for sure. Andre, what's good? How you doing on this Sunday night, Andre? He says, "Oh man, what a game! I'm gonna sleep good tonight." I know, right? Man, that was a crazy game. Back and forth. It really shouldn't have been that close, but the 49ers, they kept it interesting. That's for sure. 49ers kept it interesting. But it was a great back and forth game. The Bengals are a playoff team. They have talent. And the 49ers, they won a highly emotional game, a close competitive game. And I'm looking forward to them good old ATL Falcons on Sunday. Yeah, you're right about that, man. D-Hop is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. Hey, man, there's no denying that, man. Let's see. I appreciate you walking sports, man. The Mark and Will Shaw, appreciate you coming through. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that, NYC, man. Sorry to hear that about Dante Johnson's mother. Yeah, I didn't know that, but yeah, sorry to hear that about Dante Johnson's mom. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to play either. You know, that's definitely the last thing on someone's mind. You know, so wish the best for Dante Johnson and his family. Sending positive vibes their way. But yeah, that's a tough loss, man. That's definitely a tough loss. But I appreciate you giving us that info, NYCE. Let's see. Yeah, we gotta chop it up. Will I am. We gotta chop it up when our two teams play. Definitely gotta have you on the show. That's for sure. Let's see. NYCE says Jennings is 6'3". That's going to be a big figure for those red zone jump balls. I agree. I definitely agree. It's good to see Jennings get an opportunity because this is supposed to be, Jalen Hurd. This is supposed to be Jalen Hurd doing this, but we know he couldn't stay healthy. But yeah, it's good to see Jennings make the most out of his opportunities. Jimmy's delivering a ball that only his receiver can get. Hey, man, what more can you ask for? I appreciate everyone in the stream to hit that thumbs up button. I appreciate it. Also, subscribe to Jay in the Bay. Let's see. Lennon says, how come you picked the Rams? I thought you hate them. I don't hate any team. But the Cardinals, hey, y'all beat us twice. So why would I root for you guys to beat the Rams? That makes no sense. It really doesn't matter who wins. I just want to see a close, competitive game. But I want to see the Cardinals get knocked off their high horse, man. Because the Cardinals, I know y'all think y'all, Super Bowl bound or whatever, but y'all ain't never been to the playoffs in the Cliff Kingsbury era. So let's see what you guys do in the playoffs. But it really don't matter, man. It really don't matter who wins. Let's see. Tommy Huxley says Moore did better at left tackle, but let's be real. He's not going to get that many opportunities at the left tackle position because we know the big silver back Trent Williams will be there for the foreseeable future. So, Moore, if he's going to start on the Niners, it's going to be at right tackle unless they want to put him at a guard position. Maybe they can put him at right guard, but he's been, I think he's better at tackle. David said Nick Bosa is going to be living in Matt Ryan's head rent free. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Bird Gang 31. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Bird Gang. Yeah, man, that was a close competitive game. Win is a win at this point. We're not worried about style points. Always we can critique our team and say what they can do better, but I'm happy that, we got to win. So Tommy says I need to hate all teams. Hey, Mitch, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Mitch. Mitch is on the Spotlight Sports Network. Shout out to you, Mitch, man. Keep doing your thing. Thanks for popping in, man. Eric, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. He says, hey, Jay, thank you for beating the Bengals. Hey, my pleasure, man. It was all me. while my Browns won also against those Ravens. Yeah, man. Good job for your Browns, man, getting a win against a division rival in the Baltimore Ravens. John says, is Aaron Banks out for the year, or is he just not good enough to play? I don't think he's out for the year. No, I think Aaron Banks is practicing every week. He did suit up. I don't know if he suit up today, but he has suit up in the last few games. But I just think Shanahan prefers his veterans, and he wants Brunskill in at right guard. I think he thinks that Brunskill is the better option right now, which may be true because we don't really know. We haven't seen Aaron Banks in practice. We don't have, we're not privy to that information. And I think he must be either as good as Banks, and maybe Shanahan wants to rely on a veteran presence at that right guard spot. You can say the same thing about Compton at right tackle. I think Shanahan even mentioned that Moore and Compton are basically the same player. So Shanahan's going to he's going to ride with a player that he's familiar with, and that is Tom Compton. Tom Compton was with Shanahan in Washington, and that's who he's familiar with. So that's who he's going to ride with. Just like Shanahan is comfortable and confident in Brunskill. So, but we're definitely going to have to address the right side of this offensive line in the offseason. Make no mistake about it. Hopefully we get upgrades at both positions. Whether it be Banks, he has a great training camp. Whether it be Jalen Moore, that'd be nice if we could insert the rookies in next year as our starting guard and tackle. That would be nice, and that's if they're the best players on the team at that position. Hopefully we can do that, because we've already used our resources to draft those players. So hopefully they can continue to mature and get better at their craft. Let's see. Congratulations on the gig, Tommy. Hopefully all went well. NYCE says, so Jay, here's a real question. Niners have a shot at playoff spots 5 through 7. So which team do you think would be a better matchup for the Niners given we make the playoffs? That's a great question. I would have to look at the NFC playoff bracket. I'd have to see, because I'm not sure exactly who's 5 through 7 and all that good stuff. Let's see. Yeah, I would have to get back to you on that, NYC. I'd have to do a little bit more research on who exactly is 5 through 7 and all that good stuff. But that's a great question, maybe for another night. And I'll definitely bring that up again. Tommy feels that we will match up with Green Bay. I mean, Aaron Rodgers against this secondary. I guess if we can get pass rush on him, that'll be the key. But, the Packers are a pretty good team. And NYC, who do you think we should match? Who do you think we match up well in the first round of the playoffs? Let me know in them comments. Yeah, if we played either the Bucks or Packers, yeah, that would be a tough matchup. But Faithful, how do you guys feel if the 49ers, we get to the playoffs, and if, let's say, we lose round 1? Is this a successful season? Because I know at the beginning of the year when we were in that 4-game losing streak, people were saying fire Shanahan, fire Lynch. That's an interesting question. I don't think this is necessarily a Super Bowl roster, but obviously I want to go as far in the playoffs as we can. But when we were on that 4-game losing streak, I didn't think we would be a playoff team this year. So this has been a complete turnaround. And whatever they do in the playoffs is obviously gravy, I think, because I wasn't expecting them to be a playoff team after losing 4 straight. That's for sure. Monty Williams, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Monty, he says, Jay, what's good? I called the final score on Real Talk Niner Talk podcast. Okay, man. Shout out to the Real Talk Niner Talk. That's a great channel, great podcast. I got some great people there. But yeah, good call on your part, man. Seahawks Eddie, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. How was your Sunday night going? I think the Seahawks won, right? They beat the Texans. So yeah, I mean, Whew, man, thinking about the Buccaneers defensive front against our offensive line, man, Jimmy's gonna be running all day. And they got really good wide receivers, but Tom Brady, he is stationary. He's not going to run too much. So 49ers, if we can get pressure on TB12, hey, I think it's in any given Sunday. Let's see. David Renteria says 24-14 Bears winning. I'm going to get myself a Grant jersey. And shout out to you, SF, man. That was a great win. I'm glad everyone came onto the stream tonight. I may have a stream tomorrow night. I guess we'll see what comes to pass. But shout out to everyone that was in the chat tonight. Shout out Blue True, who had a super chat. I appreciate the donation to the channel. Shout out to everyone watching Jay intheBay Facebook, Jay intheBay YouTube, Jay intheBay Twitter. It wasn't a perfect win. It wasn't a blowout, but a win is a win at this point. And we're trying to stack up as many wins as we can, develop that great momentum toward the postseason. And I appreciate all the MVPs in the chat tonight. It was a very lively chat. And you guys have a great rest of your Sunday night. And I will have a live stream next Thursday night. I will be interviewing an Atlanta Falcons fan, and we'll preview the 49ers and Falcons game. Definitely looking forward to that. But I appreciate everyone who came through tonight to say what's good to Jay intheBay and talk about this 49ers overtime victory versus the Bengals. Let's see. Tommy says the only good team the Seahawks beat were the Niners. David says, if we make the playoffs, I would like to play the Red Chickens, and being the old school 49er fan is Super Bowl or bust. I respect that, man. I respect that. I know for Shanahan, it would be much better if he was able to make the playoffs 2 times out of 5 years as compared to 1 time out of 5 years. I know we celebrate Super Bowl victories, but after last year's debacle and this year losing 4 straight, honestly, I didn't think about playoffs. I did not think about playoffs. I didn't think that was really possible, but you never know. The players didn't quit. The coaches didn't quit, and they took it 1 game at a time. NYCE says, personally, I would love to see Packers again because they got a lucky one on us. Looking at it, our DBs can improve and get better. Mosley come back. I think we can sneak into the Super Bowl. Hey, man, I enjoy and appreciate your optimism. We shall see. We'll see what happens in the final seeding. Squishy Fish, what's good? I echo your sentiments, man. Thanks for coming through to the stream. David Renteria says, too bad y'all ain't going to play us. We're getting that first seed. I wouldn't mind playing the Cardinals again. I think we did a pretty good job, especially against Kyler Murray. You guys only scored 17 points on us. But, I wouldn't be scared of that matchup. We know each other well. You guys are obviously the better team right now, but, I don't think the Niners are afraid at all. Appreciate that, NYCE. You have a great rest of your week as well, man. Thank you, and for your contributions to the stream. Tommy Huxley says Atlanta is going to be tough. They have improved. I guess we'll see. I know Atlanta, didn't they get blown out last week or the week before? But we'll see. I'm interested to see what my Atlanta Falcons insider, YouTuber, has to say about his team this year. I know it's been a roller coaster of a season, kind of like the 49ers. But hey, man, I appreciate everyone coming on to the stream. You guys have a great start to your work week tomorrow. And go Niners. Glad we got this victory, 7-6. Looking forward to them good old ATL Falcons. And thanks for watching your boy, Jay intheBay. And I will see you guys in the next one. Go Niners.